As you work your way up the reversible lace learning curve, you may want to work a reversible centered double decrease. A centered double decrease is when you have 3 stitches and turn them into 1 with the center stitch on top of the stack. If you line these up over several rows, you'll create a spine stitch. This is a lovely decorative element, and so it's a fairly common maneuver in lace knitting. Now, when I showed you how to work reversible left-leaning and right-leaning decreases, I did not use a cable needle. But for this decrease, we're going to have to rearrange 6 stitches, so I will use a cable needle. A reminder that these 2 stitches here are those spine stitches. You need to stop knitting 1 pair in front of the spine in order to keep it aligned. I will slip the knit stitches onto the cable needle and the purl stitches onto my right needle. And don't let my funky slipping throw you off here. I've been working in combination knitting. The goal is to slip all the stitches so that everybody is facing to the left or west, so this is the stitch facing you are used to seeing. I don't have to slip the last purl stitch. Instead, I take the 2 purl stitches I already slipped and I put them back on the left needle. So I have my 3 purl stitches in a group, and then on the cable needle I have my 3 knit stitches as a group. I work the knitwise decrease the way you probably already know how to do it. It's slip 2 stitches together knitwise, which means act like you're going to knit 2 stitches together and then don't. Knit 1, pass the 2 slipped stitches over. And I can put the cable needle down now. That maneuver gave you a stack with the center stitch on the top and the left stitch on the bottom. So if I'm working it for the purl side, looking at it this way, that means this is the left stitch. So I want this stitch on the bottom, and of course the center stitch I want on the top of the stack. So the way to do that is to slip the first stitch knitwise, slip the next 2 stitches together knitwise, put the whole stack back on the left needle, and then purl all 3 stitches together up through the back of the loop. And at this point, I'm going to work across to the next spine. Those of you who are alert thinkers may realize that if a center double decrease simply means that the center stitch is on top, then it comes in 2 varieties. There's the one I just worked, where you had the left stitch on the bottom and the right stitch in the middle of the stack. And there's also a version where the right stitch is on the bottom and the left stitch is in the middle of the stack. So let me show you what that looks like. Once again, you want to stop knitting 1 pair before your spine stitches. Once again, I will get the cable needle and put the knit stitches on the cable needle and the purl stitches on the right needle. This time I will be a little more fiddly about the stitch facings for the knit stitches. So the first one, I still want it facing to the west, but the other 2 I want facing to the right or east. The purl stitches all face the usual way, and once again I park all 3 of them together on the left needle. Now this maneuver only works because I am using a cable needle. If I were using 2 regular knitting needles, this wouldn't work. I slip the first stitch over onto the right needle. I'm just parking it over here. These 2 stitches, which face to the right or east, I now rotate the cable needle 180 degrees clockwise, and then I pop that slip stitch back where it came from, back on the back of the cable needle. Now my stack is in the correct order, and I can just knit 3 stitches together. And then the cable needle goes away. Now for the purl-wise decrease, this is the stitch I want on the bottom of the stack. So I slip the first stitch knitwise, slip the center stitch knitwise. Instead of putting them back on the left needle this way, which is how they're usually done purl-wise, instead I slip them back sort of through the back of the loop. So instead of the left needle tip going left to right into them, it goes right to left into them. And now my stack is in the correct order, and I can purl 3 together. So at this point I'm going to work to the end of the row. You have been looking at the obverse side of the work. I'm going to turn it around and let you see the reverse side of the work. So here we go. If you look closely at this spine, you'll see on this side the right stitch is on the bottom and the left stitch is in the middle of the stack. And if you look closely at this side, you'll see the left stitch is on the bottom and the right stitch is in the middle of the stack. I've worked these with identical reversibility, so these 2 are the same and these 2 are the same. If I had swapped the purl-wise decreases, then I would have mirrored reversibility. Truth be told, this is so subtle, I don't think it makes a difference. So what I recommend is figure out which knitwise decrease you like, which purl-wise decrease you like, and work that. So there you go. There's the 4 maneuvers you need to know in order to conquer the reversible centered double decrease.